computing resources to deliver the software for the individuals to have a better, richer experience. Because down the road, web cannot give you the richest experience possible. It has some limits somewhere. Okay, so you need the software piece, the rich client software piece, to do something. Okay, that's one thing. It's about the choice. I don't want to force you to either go with this or that. I will give you the option whether you go with the software that's on-premise or the software that's off-premise that runs as a service. So that's one aspect of it, and you will have the control. So whatever you own, you will have the control over that, and you have the customization capabilities to actually customize the solutions because you own whatever stuff in your data center. On the other side, I can benefit from the global reach of the web, of the cloud. So by coupling my own software with the global public cloud, I can benefit from the reach. I can benefit from the scalability. I can benefit from the model. The utility model is something new. I may not be able to deliver it easily in my data center. So basically, the idea was either software or services, while the idea is actually to couple both and get the best out of both worlds. So software, get the benefits of the on-premise software, and the services get the benefits of the software that's delivered off-premise as well. So this is basically the idea. And by the way, although some organizations and some vendors say we are software as a service, we will never go software plus services, but the move is on. You can see, for example, Apple provides this huge marketplace of music and videos and so forth. Who enables that? Is it a service or a software on the computer? It's iTunes. صح? iTunes is software at the end. Okay, so it's actually software coupled with a service from Apple that actually delivers software plus services scenario in this aspect. Google, they have amazing internet-based services, cloud-based services. Are they actually offering that only through the browser? If it is so, then why they are getting into the mobile space and the OS space? Because they believe in the power of software plus their services that can actually couple and actually have 1 + 1 = more, just not only 2. So this is another example. Salesforce, you will see if you look for software as a service and the advocates of software as a service, it's salesforce.com. Salesforce.com are coming up with their own offline client-based solution for their Salesforce.com CRM solution. So they are going with the notion of software plus services. So no one can actually reject the fact that software is required plus the services to actually couple and come up with different scenarios in that aspect. All of these are scenarios of different advocates of software as a service who actually went into the software plus services aspect. Sorry to spend a lot of time on that, but it's very important to understand. Externalization of IT, I may go through this, but the fact that you are benefiting from software plus services, or sometimes meant as software as a service, is actually you're moving from inward focus to the outward focus. So instead of being limited to the scope of your data center, you can actually offer that as a public service for the outside world, and then you can actually see the benefits, the global reach, maybe different scenarios they were not be able to think about in the past, just by moving from the private to the public. And we'll see that, inshallah, in a minute. But what's very important for the individuals is the user experience. With cloud computing and the cloud in general, the user experience will shift from specific devices for specific things to coherent experience across multiple devices. And you can clearly see what we're doing with SharePoint 2010. With SharePoint 2010, we're emphasizing the fact that you will see a browser experience, you will see a PC experience, offline experience, and you will see a mobile experience. Just like building on the success of Outlook and Exchange. If you see Exchange, it's been for like years into the cloud-based services. Not cloud computing, but cloud-based services. Via, you have Exchange, you have Outlook Web Access for the web, you have Outlook for the client, and you have Outlook Mobile for your mobile device. So just to deliver a coherent experience for the individual. And this is what you should keep in mind. Whenever you think about using the cloud for your applications, think about, am I willing to, which is a good point to go for, am I willing to get a coherent user experience for multiple channels, PC, the browser, and the mobile phones as well. Okay? Who uses here smartphones? Everyone, huh? I don't think that anyone, into the technology field will be, sticking around with the small, the Nokia 4-digit thing, or yeah, I know why. I know why. Okay. By the way, if you get into the smartphone space, it's a hustle, it's headache, but it's worth the headache. Okay. No one can say, I will go into a smartphone space, whatever that smartphone thing is. iPhone, Microsoft, Google, Nexus One, whatever, you'll get into hustle. It's because of the sophistication that's built into the platform, but hopefully this will change with time. Yeah.
Only.
Yes? Huh?
Only business with you and the family dinners, that's all.
But let's move on. I look at the backstage. Who here, runs a data center or works in a data center or is an administrator with one way or another? Okay, so I may skip I believe the rest is developers, right? Who's here developers? Okay, so the majority is developers. So this would be an ugly thing to talk about for you guys, developers, but it's very important to understand as well. Just, a quick thing. We were not into the cloud thing all of a sudden. It's been, reiterating a number of times. So basically we were thinking of, I have a data center. The traditional way of thinking a data center is those number of boxes that are underutilized, that are rigid, I cannot control, I cannot, provision easily. I take a lot of, a number of weeks to actually bring new hardware or new operating system into my data center. That's basically the traditional data center. And this is, by the way, based on studies, you see that utilization is usually under 15%, which is a complete waste of money and resources. So the notion into virtualization. I remember I was working in STC and getting into the server consolidation project. And the aim was actually to raise the bar of utilization instead of less than 15 or 20%. We wanted to go into the 70, 80% to actually have a return on investment on our money, on our hardware. We were buying supercomputers. Sunfire, AIX, the P series of from IBM and stuff like that. So it was like a very important thing to actually raise the utilization of those computing resources. But on the other hand, technologies was not up to a level unless you think about virtualization. And this is what we went through. We were thinking about virtualization, because virtualization enables you to grow, shrink, maximize the usage of one hardware into multiple virtual hosts and so forth. And that's basically a normal thing. It started like maybe 5 years or even more than 5 years ago. Utilization started to increase up to 50%, but still there are some concerns, especially around delivering the IT as a service. I don't want to just deliver a virtualization infrastructure. I want to actually tackle the whole stack and actually deliver my IT as a service to different organizations. This is where I'm talking about a private cloud. Private cloud means my own data center, my own cloud-based services, but inside my own data center. So this is basically the idea. I wanted to actually deliver the IT as a service. So the marketing department will come to me asking for CRM services, not ask for hardware and software and install this and install that. No, they will ask for a service. And this is where the notion, and this is actually happening lately, at least I see it in Saudi companies, they are trying to go into the cloud-based infrastructures. Public cloud is basically what provides the elasticity or the on-demand. You can provide that, by the way, in the private cloud, but it really requires heavy technologies, sophisticated technologies to be on demand. And the billing aspect of it is another story as well. And that's why we came up, for example, in our story with Windows Azure. Windows Azure is the operating system for the cloud, basically, which provides cloud computing in that aspect. Okay. So thinking about private cloud and public cloud, always think about 3 pieces to just demystify and understand the cloud computing, or even if you are talking about hosting, the normal way of delivering hosting business and so forth. Think about 3 things. And whenever you deliver your applications or try to get a cloud computing